This man came to speak at the city council meeting last night, January 19th, 2016. His name is Toussaint St. Negritude. He came from Vermont or something a couple years ago and lives in Liberty, a neighboring town. And Belfast, downtown, jumped on the bandwagon to make him Belfast's Poet Laureate. So he attends meetings. The downtown crowd has watched me for 5 years, exposing the corruption and abuse from City Hall as a domestic survivor mom, relocating her children, needing to stay under all radar. And instead, City Hall tries to stop me from speaking at open to the public. The city attorney sends me intimidating letters telling me to hire an attorney to speak for me. Mayor Ash cuts me off, doesn't let me speak. City council takes the fifth, doesn't respond. Public documents that prove the corruption are withheld by the City Hall office, especially City Planner Wayne Marshall. It's been going on for 5 years. That's what my blogs just go on. It never stops. City council called me in as a threat to the chief of police. I had to go in for an interrogation. Now the chief of police has intimidated me several times. Even coming to my house to try to get me to back off of City Hall, and then bringing my children into the mix. And the school has done the same with my son, jeopardizing his education and robbing him of awards and acknowledgments and financial aid applications for colleges. It's just incredible. And I've been to over 50 city council meetings reporting this. As recently as September of 2015, because I kind of went into hiding because my life is threatened. I'm like under house arrest. It's just the whole town is corrupt, including Public Works, and they target my property, and I could go on and on with it, but it's really quite frightening. But so I came out in September and listed all the abuses again, and then shortly afterwards I received threatening anonymous letters in the mail, really very upsetting and sexually threatening. And I couldn't bring him to the Belfast police chief because he is against me, so I took him to Sheriff Trafton. But law enforcement is law enforcement. They all support each other, so I'm on my own here. So this man had experienced some racial profiling in the next town over of Liberty, and so he comes here to Belfast to gain support for because he's now living in fear. He said he was walking home from the library, and the state police stopped him and began questioning him and wanting to know where he's from, is he carrying any weapons, and so on, because we've had a lot of heroin trafficking coming here from Brooklyn and New York. So he's absolutely within his rights that he was profiled, but all residents are in danger of being profiled, whether it's being a Black American or a domestic survivor. And my point I'm making here is Toussaint has been watching me and the whole community, and nobody has any regard for what is happening to me, to my children, and what I am exposing throughout the community. But yet the hypocrisy here, that city council is so concerned and jumping on to write letters, and he's getting the NAACP with him, blah, blah, blah. And then the Augusta mayor gets up, and I'm going to flip over to that, and what he says is really racially unjust. And when do we come together and just stop all this with this government? I mean, come on, Toussaint, help me out. Okay, so here we go.
It's now taken on much bigger legs. The NAACP is involved and other organizations. I live alone. I'm single. No, I don't have a gun to protect myself.
Yeah.
I've never wanted one.
Be me.
Or any sort of weapon. I grew up in a household where squirt guns were not allowed. An entirely non-violent household.
As a matter of fact, yesterday I had a Public Works, I think it was the water department or something, pulled into my driveway right behind me when I came into the garage. And big guy, and he gets out of the car, he doesn't even identify himself, and he starts walking towards me. And I looked at him and I said, "So are you going to shoot me?" And he laughed. But I guess he was there to read a meter or something. But I mean, he you think he would have said, "Hi, I'm from the water department. I'm here to read your meter." Just coming right out of the truck and coming right at me. But, you know, I'm at the point where I don't care. Go ahead. Shoot me. Whatever you need to do to hide your corruption. If it is taking me out, knock yourself out, fellas. I've had it. I just posted all this stuff about Martin Luther King and a speech that was found. And he says basically the same thing. I mean, your freedom is worth your life in a heartbeat. So you can't live in fear, Toussaint. So, yeah. Okay, here we go.
But until this gets resolved and I can be assured that I can walk freely without harassment or retaliation for having so now exposed the behavior, I just thought, as your laureate, you should know. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, look at it.
John?
I'm very, very sad to hear that this happened, and I will ask if the city manager might also write a letter to the state police pointing out the importance of your role in our, not only the city of Belfast, but the larger community, and make a proper and appropriate and strong complaint to the city of police on our behalf, the city council, if the rest of you agree.
I appreciate it. I have to add, and I have to say this in any defense I have to take in the future against this profiling. The reason I'm here, the reason I moved to Maine, to the Mid-Coast, the reason I've remained here, and now what is my third year in the Mid-Coast, is because of how wonderful I have found this community to be.
Yeah, good for you, as you watch them take me out. That's quite unbelievable. Okay, so let's go over to the Augusta Mayor. Where's that part? Here he is. Oh man, this guy just buried himself. Here we go.
Of elected officials. When we go before the legislature, we go before press conferences. So I don't think I need to go into more nuance and try to sell you on the idea. It's just that elected officials are the voice of the people, and collectively, the mayors ought to be speaking in areas that aren't partisan, that we all have in common, and I think it has a powerful impact. So I do hope you vote for that when it comes up, either tonight or later. With regards to your unfortunate experience, I don't offer this as an excuse, a reason, or anything, but I will share with you information as we adjust to the west of you and our counties abut. Right now in the Kennebec County Jail, we have 22 drug traffickers sitting awaiting trial. Every one of them from metropolitan areas like New York City, Philadelphia, and Rochester, New York. There's a phenomenon going. Every one of them from metropolitan areas like New York City, Philadelphia, and Rochester, New York. There's a phenomenon going on in Maine where we've become a neighborhood of Brooklyn. And these drug dealers...
So he's indicating, I think, that these people in jail are black men. And, like, what is he thinking saying this?
All associated with national gangs. People you've heard of, Crips, Bloods, are up here. They're bonding typically with ladies from Maine. They're setting up shop in apartments, in homes, and they're trafficking not the opiates, but the heroin. That's a huge number in central Maine, 22 sitting in our county jail. And the state, local sheriffs and municipal police departments are organizing incredibly fast. DEA, I sat in meetings with all these people in the county level, and they're getting it together. I think what might be an explanation is not racial profiling, but trafficking profiling. And I just offer that as information. I don't excuse that. There is no excuse for that. But just for information to the community, we have a very unique thing going on in the state of Maine. We have Rose as a coalition. I think we've affected the legislative thing going on in the state of Maine. We have Rose as a coalition. I think we've affected the legislation. Not only that it happened, but how rapidly it happened. In my 10 years in the council and 2 years as mayor, that's a pretty quick turnaround on the bill. So I offer that to you. It's a pleasure. In my appraisal business, I don't often meet other appraisers because we're out by ourselves doing work, and as a mayor, I don't often meet other councils. So it's a pleasure to be here and see you're talking about the same things we talk about, affordable housing, etc. So thank you for coming down, and we'll answer, or having us down, and we'll answer any questions. Question? Harry.
So, I'm having a little trouble.
She is trouble, Miss Piggy. She's my city council real estate agent, screwing anybody that's buying a house here.
Here.
What's his name?
They're
Let's see.
For more treatment, for more prevention. It's not.
Thank you, Rick. Dave Rollins, City of Augusta Mayor.
Dave Rollins is his name. So, okay, I want to upload this. It's just so disturbing.